Okay, phonetics part 2. We'll continue with question number 4. And we are going to have a look at stress, word stress. Okay. And the first question, is there phrasal stress or compound stress in these words given here? Well, phrasal stress, remember a compound, one word made up out of two words. For example, ring, finger. Yes, two words, and you combine them so you get another idea, one idea. Well, and phrasal stress is when the stress is on the second word of that compound, and compound stress, more common, is that the first word is stressed, the first word of that compound, as in ring, finger. The first word, ring, carries the stress here. Okay, there are a couple of words here used in the Dutch language as well, and that's the danger here, because we don't do something else to them. So in Dutch, all of these words would get phrasal stress. We put the stress on the second word, like feedback, playback, make up, try out. But in RP, all of these words have compound stress, stress on the first word of the compound. So you get feedback, playback, make up, try out. I'm putting up my makeup and not makeup. Okay, so all of these words get compound stress in English in RP. Okay. Question number 5. Underline which of these statements below are incorrect. Incorrect. So the word incense, pronounced as incense, is a verb. Well, that is correct. Because if it's a noun, it would be incense. Okay, so incense, that's the verb. This is correct. The second one, it is exhaust or inexhaustible. So now you need to find where primary stress is in these words. While the first transcription there, exhaust, the stress is on the second, you see primary stress on the second syllable. So yes. And then the longer word there, inexhaustible or exhaustible, doesn't matter. You see there the primary stress is on the first ig. Is that correct? Is it inexhaustible? No, the stress is still on inexhaustible. So this is incorrect here, because the primary stress is on the second syllable, the zo. Inexhaustible, so that is incorrect. 3. It is admire and admirable. Or maybe you expect it to be admirable, but that will be incorrect. This one is the correct one, so yes, this is correct, admirable. It is identify and identification. If you listen to the second word, identification, I emphasize K the most in that word. So that would be the syllable with primary stress. But I indicated primary stress here in the first syllable. That will be identification. That will be incorrect, of course. So that one is incorrect too. Number 5 is about stress shifts. So it is weekend, that's correct. And weekend parties, and then you see that something changes there, so the end part gets secondary stress and the primary stress shifts to the word parties, and that is correct the way it's done here. So weekend parties is correct. So only number 2 and number 4 were wrong, were incorrect, and the others were correct. Okay. Now, strong and weak forms. Question number 6. Underline all the gradation words in a fluent reading of this fragment. So what we're going to do, Peter's never been to France before. He just can't afford it. If you listen to the pronunciation there, you need to find the weak category words. Words that sort of have a weaker form. And then we check out the words here. Well, Peter's never. You see that has is almost gone there. That is a weak form word, the auxiliary has here. Been turns into been. Peter's never been. So been is the second one to underline. Peter's never been to France. It's not to France, but to France. So to is the third minor category word, gradation word. That's the same thing. And then you cannot change France. You cannot change before, it's always the same. But he, in your dictionary, you will find the long version with the length mark the tiny little triangles, remember. But just in regular speech, you use the shorter E. So he, that's a minor category word as well, so gradation words. And then the final one we can find is cannot. We turn that into can't. So can't is a gradation word as well in this case. Okay, so you underline has, been, to, he, and cannot. Those are the gradation words in this sentence.